the bones were hanging out, the foot was the other way around.
And in my head, I'm thinking, if that was happening to me, I would be screaming, like, in so much pain.
Am I okay?
Did you say that?
Yeah, but
Hello?
I'm dead. It's amazing what ketamine can do just to chill you out. And he was like, oh, not to be alarmed, but it's possible loss of limb. Obviously, the foot with the cast on a skateboard, and then I just rode.
Just about to say, I bet you said, how's my hair? Because obviously that's all you were bothered about before, and you're still bothered about it now.
And if we don't action now, there's possible loss of limb. Wow, again.
Hello and welcome to Becoming Lucy with me, Hannah, and
Me, Lucy.
this is the podcast all about real talk, real people and real stories. And we are going to dive right in with our creator of Becoming Lucy. In a moment, she is going to tell us how we've ended up here. We're going to dive into her story. But first, we did think it would be useful maybe for people to know where we met, how we know each other, and how the hell we got here. So where did we meet, Luce?
We met back in a lovely resort called Salou back in 2014. So we, back in our holiday repping days, wasn't it? So,
Go way back. Well, I was actually your team manager, wasn't I?
I know.
Which feels mad. You in my team, honestly, well, wild. Your nickname was Animal.
I know.
For those who do know the reason why, maybe not divulge into that right now. But yeah, sunny Salou. So there's been lots of seasons, lots of destinations we've been in, lots of wild nights, wild days, work, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah, the phone calls used to be, I used to ring Hannah and it'd be literally like, is this work or social? I remember that.
And then I would know how much time I wanted to commit to the phone call. If you were smashing your targets, I was like, carry on, keep speaking. Yeah. And then what time we're going out tonight? Very professional. But we got our results and we had a good time at the same time. So
yes.
All good.
And now it's all babies and weddings for you as well, isn't it?
Oh, I know,
How times have rolled on.
I know, roll on the head next week.
I know. Is that next week?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I hope it's in your diary. There's you not turning up.
I've booked the train, don't worry.
Too busy doing this now to turn up to the head. No, it feels mad though that like we're sort of here now doing this, and definitely our friendship has evolved over the years, and we have obviously been in touch and seen each other and met up, and you've been to my house, I've been to yours, all that kind of stuff. But I think what's going to be really interesting about this is that obviously we're going to talk about the accident and how it changed your whole life, and this is the reason we're here right now and why you created Becoming Lucy. And I know bits of it from being your friend, but I don't know the ins and outs. So actually, I'm really excited and interested to know the whole story, you know, because I don't know that. And I think a lot of people are going to be the same. So yeah, whilst I know what happened to you, I'm really intrigued to know, you know, the full story. So yeah, well, without further ado then, should we just crack on?
Crack on.
Excellent. Right then, let's get deep. Let's go for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as we talked about and as we know what the episode's called, it's obviously the day everything changed. So before we go back to the accident, who was Lucy before it happened?
All right. So just before it happened, I was very much in, obviously, to my fitness racing. I feel like I've had many personalities over my 36 years at the time it was. And literally it was a point of taking the hobby quite seriously, really, to an extent. And very much into the high rock scene, which I know has absolutely boomed in the UK now. And yeah, in the gym, literally, it could be a couple of hours a day, double sessions on a Sunday, very committed to the core. And had high expectations for myself. I obviously wasn't up there, but I made some great friends through it. And that was my thing, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, your legs were like rocks, honestly. And your whole physique, you definitely could tell that you were committed to it and working out. And obviously that was your main focus. That was your area that you were wanting to excel in at the time.
Yeah, no, 100%, yeah. And I never thought I was a runner, and I don't think I ever, well, I never will be now.
Hey, never say never.
I never say never. I can probably walk about 50 yards.
Hey, You can still get on that dance floor and throw some moves. I've seen it. So never say never.
That's when the legs worked but didn't work. Remember Johnny Little's? So.
Oh God, we've digressed already. This
I know.
is literally going to be ridiculous. Fab. That was your life. You were really committed to the cause. You loved it. You looked amazing. You felt amazing. So obviously the day it happened, did you have a feeling that something was going to be off? Did you have any kind of vibe, or you just turned up and was about to do your race and everything felt
Yeah.
normal?
Well, the week before I was actually in my first kind of CrossFit comp that I kind of went to, and I wasn't running properly then. I had a tendonitis in one of my hips, and it was really, really playing up the fact that I was crying sometimes in the gym on the treadmill, like I'm not hitting like the paces that I was doing and and it's just like, just carry on. And then the Spartan race where it happened, I booked it months and months and months in advance, like, yeah, something new, something different.
Yeah.
And I can remember speaking to my coach Becca, and I was like, do we do it? Like, do we not? And being a tight ass, because I spent like 70 quid on a ticket. I was like, go. Take that back now. But yeah, I was feeling a bit rough. Like I had a cold. I was basically probably just overdone it. Like
Yeah.
my body was trying to tell me, but I probably just wasn't listening. You don't, like loads of people I know in the fitness industry, you just think you're unbreakable. And it's funny,
Yeah.
actually, Spartan actually had that on their t-shirts that day, and obviously
Brilliant.
I broke.
Cheers for that irony.
Yeah, I still got the t-shirt. But yeah, and I didn't want to get my hair muddy. I had my hair extensions in like 2 days before. I didn't want to get muddy. Yeah, I had a cold, and yeah, my mum actually said to me, like, she saw me and my mate Steph post a picture before we raced, and we put ourselves into the championship race. And for anyone who doesn't know what a Spartan is, it's literally like Tough Mudder on steroids. So we were like, and mum
We
was
can do
like,
this.
yeah, we could do this. Like, sod it, it's a laugh. Like my coach just said, you should enjoy it. Literally,
Yeah.
just go out. If you can't run, walk it. Just have a go, have a play. Just treat it like basically an adults kind of like kids obstacle course, and go with the flow. And that was the plan. And my mum literally said that she wanted to text me and ring me then and say, I've got a feeling, just don't do it. Like,
Wow.
don't do it. But she's like, you would never listen to me anyway, would you? I was like, no, I wouldn't. I'm not travelled all the way
Good old
down to,
Ange.
it was near Nottingham. I can't remember where it was, but I know where the hospital was. So yeah, we got on the start line, and there we go. And
So
the
your
rest
mum
is
had that intuition then, and obviously you wouldn't have listened. Yeah, she's absolutely right. You wouldn't have, because you are very competitive, very determined, and yeah, you wanted to do that race. And so did it happen at the start of the race then, as you were just about
halfway
to go?
through. A lot of people said it was like near the end, but I swear it was halfway through. And obviously I was running, like, I wasn't very good at the obstacles, so half of them. You have to do like a forfeit and go off and do something else. And I was getting my hair caught in the net. And I
Your
was getting really
extensions, your newly
frustrated.
extensions.
I was like, so I remember where it happened was on the balance beam. And when you're in the championship race, if you mess up or fumble before you do like an obstacle, you have to do the forfeit. So I was like, I've got this. I can't be asked going through that net again. I'm not getting my hair stuck. So you're going up it and then just go across, and then you're coming down. So as I'm coming down, I'm stepping like right foot, left foot. I was only like 30 centimeters off the bottom. So I put my left foot down to run off. And then as I literally put my foot down, I just heard the most massive snap. I literally say it was like, you watch like the sumo wrestlers and they just get that piece of wood and snap it
Yeah.
across their thigh.
Wow.
Yeah. And I obviously hit the ground, hit to my knees. And I'm like, that sounded horrendous, but I can't feel anything.
Yeah.
Looked behind me, and it was like a scene off a sort of film. Like the bones were hanging out, the foot was the other way around, and I just remember shouting, medic! As loud as I could, but I got a big gob. And I was just frightened as well, because obviously there's people racing behind me, like, is someone gonna fucking land on me, it's gonna snap in the other direction, it's gonna be like some kind of like scary movie, when they kind of like reenact it and everything just goes even worse. I was like, and then these sports again. And I remember my first sport was like, fuck, I'm like, I was supposed to be doing another race in literally a couple of weeks' time, which I took a bit more seriously, which was Deadly Dozen. I was like, well, I'm not racing that then, am I? And it wasn't even my leg. It was just like, again, that's how driven I was. Like, oh, well, I'm not racing that. That's pissed me off.
Yeah.
But not also realising how severe the accident was, even though my leg was hanging off.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna be in shock, aren't you? I mean, and again, I think those moments after, I mean, you know, tell us when you were looking at your leg, like, how did that make you feel?
again, I don't think it really hit me, and then obviously I was quite unlucky, I say, in hindsight, because the guy who was, like, the main medic, like, who owned the company, was literally 15 seconds behind me, so he was on me straight away, and obviously I had, like, a FaceTime with him, like, weeks and weeks later, and he told me more of the story than what I realised, and he was trying to manipulate it back round, but it's funny how you said before about obviously your legs being so strong. He was like, "Your calves were so strong, it just wouldn't move. It wouldn't manipulate back round." Obviously, very lucky again that the ambulance is there on site. So they're coming over. And all I can remember is him talking to me, going, like, just keep breathing. You're handling it really well. The
Mm.
ambulance is on its way. And I can't even really remember what was going on around me. But obviously, the pain then settles. But again, I can't really remember the pain. I know it was horrible,
Yeah.
but
You
I
can't
think it's supposed.
describe it.
Yeah, I think it's probably a bit like when people have childbirth and you know it's horrendous, but they go and have another one. I mean, I wouldn't want to have another leg
Not
off,
me. Not me.
but like,
No.
yeah. And I can remember him saying, he's like, he handled it really, like, he's like, I couldn't have done it. He's like, and he did say it reminded him of his wife when she was giving birth, because I was practicing breath work and stuff to try and control the nervous system by doing sports. And obviously, I'm just thinking and just breathing through. And it's
Yeah.
funny how your mind goes back to that breath to control it. And all I can
So,
remember was like there's needles going in, they're doing this, and he's like, I'm just gonna, and then I've had ketamine already, I've had paracetamol, I've had morphine, and I'm still awake. And it's funny, I can hear him saying, like, we need to take pictures for this. And even though I was in that much pain, the person that I am was like, can I have a copy of them, please?
yeah. And that literally, that copy got sent to every group chat. We received it. And I think fair play, because obviously you were just trying to describe and come to terms with what had happened. And I remember when you sent it in our group chat, like when you were describing about Scary Movie, I would like that, like to look at it, because I was like, I can't look at this fully. Like, there's a bone sticking out of my friend's leg. Like, what is going on? So yeah, I can imagine, you know, you doing that and having it and keeping those pictures, and you know, it's part of your journey, isn't it?
Yeah, and I
I
think it's
was,
also part of realizing what it was, because you know, like, at first you're like, did I dramatize that? And then when
I
you see the
dreamt it.
pictures afterwards, you're like, oh. And I was in the hospital obviously afterwards, and I was like to the nurses, like, did you get any pictures when I came in? Because I was gutted, because 24 hours in A&E normally film.
This is
Obviously at
such
that
a you.
hospital,
And they weren't there.
they weren't there.
So your moment to
The
shine
moment of glory,
had
absolutely off
gone.
your face off ketamine, like, was all wasted. You know what I mean? That could have made absolutely great telly.
You might not be sitting here with me if they had been filming that day.
I
God
know,
damn it. They missed a trick.
and they
I
did.
was just gonna say though, like, I'm just circling back a little bit to when you said that you were sat and you were breathing, and the medic was like, you're handling this really well, and you've got bones sticking out of your leg, and you've got people like going past you doing the race. Like, it must have just been chaos. And in my head, I'm thinking, if that was happening to me, I would be screaming, like, in so much pain. And did you get that sudden pain, like when you were in the hospital? Was that when you were thinking of everything and you were like, wow, I just need to scream? Or did that never come? You just sort of carried on
Just kept,
breathing through it?
I just, yeah, and obviously I was that doped up anyway, because I just remember him coming like, we're gonna give. Well, he told me this, like, we're just gonna give you some more ketamine now, because it's not moving, and basically we need to knock you out.
Yeah.
The drugs ain't kicking in. And apparently I was just like, just give it to me. Like,
Now
stop
that sounds
talking.
like childbirth. That sounds like childbirth. Give me the gas and air now.
Yeah. And obviously I was knocked out. And then my next memory is obviously waking up in the ambulance. And I remember thinking I was in a space station. Do you know what I mean? I was waking up. But all I can hear is the bloke literally going, trauma, resource, trauma, resource.
Wow.
And I'm like, am I having an out of body experience? Because to me, like, resource is like, she's
Yeah.
dead. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, obviously got the mask on. I was like, am I okay?
Did you say that? Is that what you
Something
said?
probably like, yeah, because I'm like,
Hello?
am I dead? Like, I've got to make sure I've got a voice here, and if he doesn't respond, I'm fucked. And he was like, oh, not to be alarmed, but it's possible loss of limb. We've got no circulation
Oh.
down to the foot, so just beware when you get to the hospital. You're gonna have a lot of people around you, and it's gonna be go, go, go. And I just didn't respond, I don't think. I just pulled the mask back over my face and just, it's amazing what ketamine can do just to chill you out, to be fair. Not like I recommend it to anybody, but I just had no reaction. I just thought, well, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do. I'm
But
just gonna lie here.
I think that is you all over though. Do you know what I mean? You always find the positives at everything, and you're there in an ambulance with your a bone sticking out of your leg and all the stuff that's just happened, and you're still like, wow, ketamine's making me feel nice. And you're just like, is what it is. Like, it's incredible that you still had that sort of level of adversity in that moment, and you weren't sort of shaking with panic or any sort of reaction that would be totally valid, and you were just sort of like, right, well, ketamine's making me feel good, let's go. Like, it is incredible, and I can totally imagine it as well. And this is what's so exciting about hearing the story, like, from you, because I'm picturing everything and these little steps. I'm like, even though you were in the most traumatic situation of your life, there was still elements of it that you could make a joke out of, which makes this story also, you know, really lovely to tell, even though there's so much trauma attached to it as well, you know. Okay, so moving on then, we're in the hospital and you got there and you had 2 operations, right?
Yeah, I had to have 2. So they whisked me into the hospital. They're all around me. They're talking, they're chatting, like, we need to do this, we need to do that. Again, I think I remember clapping, wishing him good luck. Didn't know what else to do, but I felt rude. Asking him for those pens. I kept asking for more of those pens that you suck on, and apparently it wasn't
Right.
allowed anymore. I don't know. I can't remember what's in them. But they said, oh, I think it's because I used to be an
I mean, I
ex-smoker
don't
as
think you
well.
should
It's a bit
carry
like a
on doing
vape.
that hand movement, to be honest. I just kept looking and I was like, might want to
For
move your hand
anyone
away.
not watching.
Guess what Lucy is doing right now? Answers in the chat. So yeah, all that commotion was going on. Did you
Yeah.
have your friend Steph with you at this point? Because obviously she started the run with you, right? So just
Yeah,
wishing,
so
yeah,
she didn't
okay.
even know where I was at first. She was like shivering at the end of the line, like, where the hell is she? I know she's like done a ripping, but like, what
So
should be
she
going on? So she didn't know,
thought
and
she
there
was
was
with you.
no, well, she did end up coming towards, like, back to me, but like pulled her to one side probably about half an hour after, and then they had to see to her in the medical tent because she was so cold that she had to have like the tinfoil and stuff wrapped round her. I drove, so then she had to get in my car. She rang my mum, and then obviously I'm asking for Steph at the hospital, and they're like, oh, she's on her way, she's on her way. And all I can remember is wheeling off, because obviously I'm still covered and bolted in mud. So they're trying to clean me as much as they can as well for the risk of infection, but to
Yeah,
get me
yeah.
down to the theatre. And Steph just runs in and literally, I think then they're wheeling me down to theatre as she comes in. She's like, I've got your stuff, I've got this. And like, where's my watch? I'm like, duh, duh. And I'm just sat, I can't even remember what I even had, but obviously they have to cut my clothes off me as
Yeah.
well. And apparently I was like, is my hair okay?
Do you know what I was just about to say? I bet you said, how's my hair? Because obviously that's all you were bothered about before, and you're still bothered about it now.
It's funny how your subconscious still reacts,
Yeah.
like your legs hanging off. Is my hair okay?
Is my hair okay?
Does my
Am I
hair
going to
still
look
look
good in
alright?
the pictures when you take one of my bones sticking out my leg, but am I going to look pretty still?
Yeah. And then they just took me down to theatre. They're like obviously asking all the questions like before you put your. I remember the one like, any possible chance you're pregnant? I was like, please don't make this day any worse. And he was like, no, seriously. I was like, no, I don't think no. Like it takes, no, it's been past 9 months. I can clear it.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Thankful.
I
And
bet you made their day, to be fair, because you sound like such a fun patient.
I know, but again, I was lucky because, like I say, they were on me in the hospital. Well, at the scene at the hospital, and then obviously a lot of the junior doctors were on strike, so I actually ended up with like 2 of the best surgeons that day on me as well, because they were saying like, well, one possible loss of limb, worst scenario. Second, like, we just got to clean it up. That was the first operation to make sure it was clean for risk of infection. So I still
Yeah.
had like an open wound for the first day. And I can remember like one of the other doctors coming down that night, and obviously all I've got is my gym bag. I've borrowed one of the nurses' thing for a phone. I'm just chatting to everybody on Instagram, and I was like, as if you put those videos up, you're like, oh, talking to like
Oh,
on
I
the
forgot about
story.
that.
Yeah, well, they're
Yeah.
still somewhere anyway. Um,
Again, forms part of the journey, doesn't it?
I
We'll
know.
have to get them on uploaded and only subscribers can see them.
Oh, yeah, I should add some, add the pictures on.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanna see him, or even on the Instagram. But, and he was like, he just walked in and he was like, "Yeah," he goes, "You won't be doing that again," and looked at my gym bag and it got all the stickers on. And obviously, under the influence of drugs, I'm gonna say, oh, I went, "Fuck off." Like, mood completely went down then.
At least you told him.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Like, don't ruin my mood.
Yeah. No, I think obviously that was coming from a realistic place, and as a medic, he was being truthful, but it's definitely not what you want to hear in that moment, is it? Like, it should be all about maybe you can get back to that at some point. Right
Mm,
now, let's just focus on getting your, leg sorted, your foot sorted. So, yeah, I can understand we had that reaction. I was telling him to
yeah.
fuck off as well.
So, yeah, and then they were just explaining like, oh, we might have to take skin grafts to obviously like rebuild it if we like can get it all back together and all this malarkey. We're going down like tomorrow. Um, and that I was in my own room that day, and it was quite a dark room. Like, you just imagine everything being black and white. Even when that
Mm,
doctor was in there, like I was like colour and everything else was like black
mm,
and white. That's all I can describe. It was so weird.
mm.
Um, and then obviously they did the operation, the second one, and I can remember I woke up because um it was at night time. My friend Lee from the gym was coming to visit me, bless him. And I remember the first thing I did was check my legs to make sure I still had skin there, because obviously they're going to take them from my thighs. I was like, please don't ruin my legs anymore. It's what they're known for. My best feature. I was like, oh, they're done. And then she's like, do you feel all right? I was like, yeah. I was like, she's like, oh, we just need you to have like, the whole drink and toast before you go back up. I was like, well, my mate's coming in about 10 minutes. Can we make it quick?
I thought you were going to say, can we get him a cup of tea and some toast as well,
and
please?
yeah, I shoveled it down. And then I was back on a ward, like a proper ward then. And then it was, yeah, quite a
Recovery time.
successful operation, recovery, and just trying to get about and go from there really. So it was
Yeah.
quite positive then, because they were saying, oh, it's, like at first it was like, you're not going to be mobile independent for 6 months, you're not going to be able to weight bear for 12 months. I was thinking, I'm going to show him I can do this. And I was moving on those milestones a hell of a lot quicker. Obviously I come out of hospital, I wasn't just straight doing things, but obviously in that still fitness industry, I was like, I still got to like do a bit of upper body. Obviously not straight up, probably about 10 days after, which is probably
Yeah.
quite quick for most people. But I was like, but to me, it was like, I still need to move, not only like mentally, but I was like, if like I'm losing so much muscle and to heal, like even if you work one arm or one leg, your body doesn't know which part of your body is working. So for me, it's like, we're going to promote those hormones to heal. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. And I was very strict still on my food. Not in the fact of like strict as in like not eating like people make, but I was like, no, I need the right nutrients. I need the
Yeah.
right supplements. Like when I was in hospital, people were bringing me literally like protein in, because no offense to the hospital food, it's not the healing food that you need. I remember the
Mm.
nurses be like, what's all this on your table? Like, this is protein, this is creatine, this is like all these potions, like some witch, like mixing it up, like put this in my custard, and like just trying to make stuff up.
But that's brilliant that you wanted to do that, and you again so actively promoting your own healing by doing things that you already knew would work,
uh,
which is obviously nutrition. It is absolutely a key part, isn't it? I was just going to circle back to hospital then. So how long were you in hospital for then
not
overall?
long, only about, I think it's about 5 days
And
after
then
the
you were
op.
released.
And then I was released, yeah, and just have to prove that I can get up and down the stairs with a crutch or whatever, which is quite hard actually. And then discharged, and I was back. I mean, I don't know how folk do it, especially like obviously I was on a ward with a lot of like old women who have broke their hips and stuff, and like you see them and they get sent home and they have a carer like once a day, and I'm like in my 30s. I'm considered fit and well and athletic and strong. And I struggled to get about, and obviously I had to go back to my mum and dad's where they're waiting on me,
Yeah.
go back to the bungalow, so there's a downstairs toilet and a bed, do you know what I mean, and all that, and I lived with my mum and dad for months, like
Yeah, I was gonna say sort of just piecing the journey together then. So you had your 5 days in hospital. You were obviously given a crutch to help you.
well, I had
How
a
did you
frame. I was an old lady. I liked my frame better than the crutch. Felt more stable.
so you had your frame.
Yeah.
But how did you feel like about getting given those pieces of equipment? Because obviously they're there to help you, to aid you. But like you said, you associate those types of equipment pieces with older people.
Mm,
And obviously just 5 days earlier, you were about to run a Spartan race. And then 5 days later, you're being tested on how you can walk up and downstairs with a crutch and
yeah.
going back to live with your parents. So can you tell us how that all felt, or what were
Do
those
you know what? I was
emotions?
I don't know if the word's optimistic or
Mhm.
arrogant, but I just didn't believe a word that anyone was telling me. And I think that was probably, some people go, like you can see it in their face, but I was so adamant and didn't believe anybody. Like I still had an Alton Towers 10K book for the October. I had a High Rocks Pro book for the Malaga. I was going. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna heal. I'm a really lucky person,
Yeah.
and like I'll get through this. Like, it'll be fine. It's back on. Like what's the worst that can happen?
Hello,
But I
I'm not
think that
legless.
kept me, yeah. I think that's what kept me literally going, because I just didn't believe anyone. Like
Yeah.
the surgeons. I mean, my surgeon was great. He was like, "Yes, prove us wrong, Lucy. Like, we reckon you will be able to run again. Like one day, maybe." Like, and I was like, he's like, "Maybe not very far." And I was like, "What's far?" Like to me, like a marathon's far. I was like, I don't want to
Yeah.
do a marathon.
Yeah.
Maybe about 8, 10K. I was like, 8K, like high rocks. We can do that, can't we? And I was just so focused that I was going back and I wasn't losing my strength, and I was going to go back into the gym and I was going to do absolutely everything, that I didn't really think that I had no pity for me. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, I was just like, okay, I'll sit here for a bit and I'll do a bit. And I went to the gym still. I was in my wheelchair, but still, and like, there's a video, I know it's on Instagram, and I got the idea off a friend, and she literally like, she had a similar injury, and literally on the rowing machine, I get the cast, obviously the foot with the cast on a skateboard, and then I just row,
Amazing.
back and forth. And then like I was still there at the gym with my friends. They were doing the high rocks class, and I was just in the corner rowing and watching.
I mean, if
Like,
that's not inclusive, I don't know what is. Well done
yeah.
to your gym and all your friends. But I think that's like inspirational in itself though, because one, you had that hope and you just had that positive attitude to say, like, I don't believe what your 1,000 years of training has done at doctor school. I am going to get through this. And I think that's, a great way to look at it. And hope is what drives a lot of people through the most traumatic times in their life. And there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And obviously the fact that you were just still getting out there and going to the gym and just adapting what you could do so you could
Mm,
still be in the environment that you loved, because like you said, that was you at that time. You were fully focused with that. You'd made a whole new support network of friends and you didn't want to miss out. And that is very you as well. You
mm.
were not getting FOMO for no leg or foot. You were going. And do you think that helped you stay positive, or were there sort of days where you really would feel down and start to find the fight hard?
um I think one of my darkest days was actually when the cast came off. I think, because you imagine like when you're in prison, you're like, one day gone, like we're counting down, the cast is going to come off, and it's like 8 days. And then it was such an anticlimax,
Mm.
because literally they took the cast off. Um, Again, I can remember my friend Kate was like, Just beware, like you're a girl who like shaves your legs every day. Like, it's not going to be pretty." And it wasn't. Like, I
Mm.
literally looked like a pirate, because all the muscle had gone. It was just like a
Mm.
peg,
Mm.
obviously very hairy. You got dead skin, but obviously where the break is, it's just scabby, and you know
Mm.
what I mean, all the like the stitches and stuff, and that hit me. I remember going home and I was like washing my leg and shaving it, and that day hit me harder because I think I've always been known for having great legs. Um,
Yeah, I concur.
Vain, vain. I know. Like when my same friend Kate said the other day we were in Wales, she's like, "You still got great legs," and then she's like, "She's had them since she was 13." And my friend Bianca's like, "Whose legs did she have
Yeah.
before?" But it's known, like people will say, "Oh, you always had great legs." I'm like, "I still will, I still will."
Yeah. No, I
But I actually thought at that point, I was like, "I wish it was my face. I wish this happened
really.
in my face. One, I'd be able to be mobile, and like I'd rather have better legs." Do you know what I mean? It was weird how
Yeah.
my brain processed it. I probably even went down for about an hour, but and
That's
then
long in
turned
your
myself
world.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was like, and then I was afterwards like, why would you think that about your face? Like, imagine,
Yeah.
like, you know, about like brain injuries and all this kind
Yeah.
of stuff, and actually properly deformed with your skull. Um, but yeah, I mean, that was the darkest moment. And then obviously I was peaking and I was like, as like just before Christmas, I could walk
Mm,
unaided,
mm.
not very quick, but I could walk, and I could go back in the gym and I could squat down, I could throw a wall ball, nothing like I was before, but that movement was still there. And these were movements I was told I was never going to do
Yeah.
again. And then went on holiday, still walking unaided, but obviously slow. And then it just went downhill, didn't it?
Well, tell me about that time frame then. So from when the accident happened to when you were then walking unaided, going to the gym, went on holiday, how long was that then?
So the accident happened on the 30th of June. Um, and then we went on holiday over Christmas. So like
So 6
obviously like
months.
Christmas Day. Yeah. So it was
So
like really like in the right direction.
yeah, what an achievement though to do that in that time when you were getting told that you wouldn't. So
Mm.
that is a brilliant achievement for sure. And then yeah, so tell me about what happened after then when it started to go downhill.
Yeah, so we were always planning other surgery anyway because, I mean, again, not being big-headed, but when they were in the hospital, I mean, I was lapping it up. They were always referring to me as a young athlete, and for that, they were like, "We need to get you back, like you're not just a normal person. You are an athlete." I was like, "Okay, I'll
Wow.
take that if you're gonna get like we want to get you back running, like your recovery's going well." Um, I've gone up and down with surgeons because people were saying about ankle fusions, da da da. And that's when it started to slip. And then they were like, maybe we look at ankle distraction. You're able to walk, and that's obviously when they put a cage on, they'll lengthen the limb, a bit like a tooth brace, like
Mm,
step
mm.
by step, and then rid out because obviously it was getting full of arthritis. Rid all that out, and hopefully you'll get that movement. Like we were looking at videos, believe it or not, in the hospital with the doctor on Instagram of people who had this done in like Germany and America.
Yeah.
Like it was a new thing that was going on the NHS for the UK, and everything was going positive. And then literally it was like January. It was January, and I can remember walking. I was in work and something like went. I don't know if, and it was really painful. And everyone I spoke to, I was like, literally, if I put my leg up on my knee, I couldn't put my leg up on my knee. The pain was that much.
Yeah.
And you obviously trying to describe this pain to other people. And I'm always wanting to kind of crack on, and people are like, "Oh, I'll be arthritis that." Fucking arthritis, is this it that much? Like,
Jesus
Jesus
Christ.
Christ, yeah. What's going on? And then it was like up and down and up and down. And then I actually entered a fitness comp in the for February. I was that confident, like the
Yeah.
Christmas time. Me and my friend Jamie were going to do it. It wasn't any running or anything, but it's just like a more of a strong one. It's going to be doubles race. He could take on anything that I wasn't comfortable with.
Yeah.
And literally a couple of weeks before that, I was like, I can't do this. Like I'm really, really struggling. Um, and again, that was another deadly dozen, and Jason was really good at refunding me again. He
Wasn't he
didn't have
kind?
to, yeah. Sorry, I will make a race one day. And yeah, it was just playing up, but I still cracked on. Still refused to
Did
like.
Did you
use
go to
walking
the
aids.
hospital at this point then to try and tell them what happened, get some more pain relief? Like, were you just sort of continuing on without any of that, just knocking back
I went
cocodamol?
back to the no, it wasn't even on the pain because I don't really like taking that many painkillers because I think if I can't feel it and I fall over, do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or something twangs, like, and you don't know what's going on with your body.
Yeah.
So I did go back and they're like, "No, your X-rays are all right. Like nothing's moved. Like it's just I don't know this and that." And then it was funny in the February I was on the obviously the contraception injection, and it well, it went wrong basically. Again, I had a bit of an ordeal with that. People saying, "Oh, it's like a burst blood vessel." I was like, "This really hurts. Like it's like fire to my stomach," and I
Mm.
end up with a massive abscess on my stomach where it's obviously got infected.
Wow.
And I was struggling with that on top of the leg as well. Again, I ended up in hospital to get that removed. Like just sliced me open. I remember saying, "We can do an operation if you want." I was like, "Get it out now." I was
Yeah.
like, and that actually, I remember them doing it, and then she cut me open, and obviously it stung like anything. I was like, "I lost my leg nearly 6 months ago, and this hurts even more."
Bless you, honestly, going through
Oh,
the complete wars.
yeah. And then obviously that was like healing at the time, and it was around the Easter. Um, it just played up one day, and I couldn't walk. I was actually on a date with somebody, and we've gone on this date, and he's like, "You're in pain, aren't you?" He's like, "I really appreciate you, like, you coming, but should we go?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I've gone up to, I've got one crutch with me, and I was like, "I can't walk.
Mm.
I literally can't walk." So he's first date, bear in mind. Luckily, there was not really a connection. So he's like hobbling me out of like the
What a story.
restaurant, and obviously I get in the car, and I'm like, I can't drive. I can't literally put my toe on the floor without it like,
Like
mm,
searing with pain,
yeah.
yeah.
So I have to ring my mum and dad to come pick me
Were
up.
you still living with them at this point? That was something I was gonna ask actually. Were you back at your house at this point?
No, I was back at mine at this point, yeah. So I
So
went
that's
back to
another
mine.
achievement that had happened in that time then. You were able to move
Yeah.
back and live independently again, which again
Mm.
is amazing. Okay,
And then
fabulous.
yeah, so mum and dad had to come and rescue me. And then mum's like, "You," I think I spent one night at home, and then I was like, "It's still really, really painful." So we went to like one of the medical centres, and they were like, "Oh, like you think it's muscle damage?" Like didn't do any X-ray. And I'm like, "How can I do any muscle damage? I can't really do anything. Like it's been
Yeah.
flaring up." I was like, "Do you want to give me any naproxen, anything like this?" And then, long story short, I had a big conversation with ChatGPT over the next couple of days, as you do.
I did not expect you to say that.
Did you
Actually,
not?
no, because what I will say, obviously, whilst we've been planning this, I have learnt a lot about. Let me see if I can say this now. Chat GBT.
You
I
said
said
it
it
right for
right,
once.
and yeah, it is literally your like best friend, isn't it?
Yeah,
You use it for everything. So
yeah.
I that makes sense now, but I did not expect you to say I had a big long chat. I was honestly thinking you were going to say a friend, but
No.
no, it is AI.
Yeah,
Brilliant,
AI,
excellent.
and it was literally the Tuesday after the bank holiday then, so I've suffered for a few days, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I can't sleep, like literally, like I'm in agony, and it's like, go to A&E now, Lucy, go to A&E. So I'm like texting my
I'm
mum.
sorry, but that's literally such an obvious thing. But I love how you were waiting for GPT
Well,
to
I've
say
already
that
been
to
to the
you.
medical centre and they've fobbed me off. So you're like, are you making a fuss? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to think at this stage. Like, I've been to a professional, tried to save the NHS's time by going to the medical centre. So I text my mum. I'm like, "Mum, when you wake up, we need to go A&E." Obviously, she wakes up straight away. I don't think she's sleeping. Typical mum.
Yeah.
Off we trundled to A&E, and there's like an 8-hour wait. So gotta wait anyway. So this is about 4 a.m. And then one of my friends, actually from the gym, Sophie, she works in A&E as a nurse, and obviously she comes in on a shift, and she's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" I'm like, "Foot's really playing up,
Yeah.
and it's swollen, it's red. Obviously I can't wait there." And she just touches it. She's like, "I'm getting your bloods done now."
Mm.
So literally bypass triage, literally get the bloods done, x-rays done, do my dressing on my stomach. Like, no, this looks all right. We can't see anything of infection.
In case it was connected, is that what they were thinking? Like,
Well, I was actually due a dressing change, so I was flapping that I wasn't going to get out of A&E in time to get to the doctors, so I had to ask him if they minded doing that while they were there.
I mean, you were in the right place, weren't you?
Yes. Anyone need a job? Any
two,
students?
literally two for the price of one.
And then you're sort of like, they were like, you're like our perfect patient. They're like, you're doing all the right things. You're still moving. You're still immobilizing.
Mm.
You're going to the gym. You're eating right. You're taking like all your supplements. Like, we just don't understand. And obviously the bloods came back, and then they pulled me. I was like downstairs. They put me in like the ward where you're waiting, or just like a waiting ward, I don't know, for day cases. And then they just pulled me in a room and got my mum in, like, shut the door. I was like, yeah, we're sorry to say that you've got a really high level of like infection in your blood, and if we don't action now, there's possible loss of limb
Wow.
again.
So what?
And that's when it hit me a lot harder. Like,
Yeah,
you can tell there was no ketamine in my system then. Like, do you know what I mean? It was like,
pure
fuck.
emotion. And
Yeah.
what were those feelings then? And obviously your mum was with you as well.
Oh, yeah.
How did she take that news?
Well, I could see her face drop. God, I don't want to get emotional. And I think you try and put um a face on for your parents, don't you? Do you know what I mean? You don't want to see them
Mm-hmm.
upset. So I'm trying to like hold that back, but that was fear then. I think
Mm.
I've been through it once and I handled it quite well. And now you're going to tell me it's a possible loss of limb,
Mm-hmm.
do you know, again,
Yeah,
through infection. Like, I don't want to lose this leg.
yeah,
Like, and that was scary. Um, But again, it's just kind of that hit of shock, and you're like, right, what we doing then? Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? How are we
yeah,
going
yeah,
to
yeah.
tackle this? And it's like, we're just going to pump you with antibiotics until your bloods can come down. But yeah, again, GBT, I was like, because obviously they were telling me like what levels it was. I can't remember. I think it was like 97C something, whatever. So I'm like, how high is that? I mean, I still don't have a clue, and obviously it's AI, but like, if it's 100, you'd say there's like cancer in your body. So it's literally like
Wow.
3 away from that, from the infection. And they don't know to this day. Like, I was like, is it anything to do with the abscess? It's like, it could be, but it's very rare to get down. It's like, if the infection's got into your blood and then it's like got to the metal, or it's a fact that there's been underlying infection in the metalwork from when it was done, because obviously you were so muddy and everything like that.
Wow. So it could have been like a long-standing developing infection from your
Yeah,
original operation.
operation, and then it's just gone boom. Maybe that didn't help having the like that infected as well, and your body kind of reacts. Um, so yeah, pumped me full of antibiotics, and then yeah, just unload like the bloods had come down to a reasonable level. Sent packing, off back home
A
a
couple
day
of days
later,
later, a day later. Wow.
literally
Okay.
a day later, with like a ton of antibiotics to carry on taking. And then you're just like, has the infection gone? Do we know it's gone? Like, I've still got this
Yeah.
abscess, and like this is not healing. Like, is it connected? Um, and yeah, and I've just not been right since then at all. And it's just been like more investigation, like CT scans, MRI scans, and it's like, now we don't think the ankle distraction is going to work because of like risk of infection.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't want to get my ankle fused. And I was talking to people online. People are like, oh, I had it fused. Like, the doctor's like, Rod Stewart had his fused and he's still on stage. I'm like, great for Rod Stewart. And then it starts to settle in a bit more, like, oh, this is pretty serious. And like, that's when the doctor's like, it was serious in the first place, Lucy. You just
Yeah.
you just didn't believe us.
Yeah. And
And
did obviously they said to you that you were doing everything right and they were confused at why it was like that. They found like you had an infection. Obviously, they were now saying it was your sort of personality. You wanted to crack on and believe that it obviously wasn't as serious as it was. Did they think then the stuff you'd been doing contributed to it? Or were they saying that everything you've done is correct? This is just
yeah,
now
everything was
another
great. So
level.
many people have asked, like, were you doing too much? Like, you were still back in the
Yeah.
gym. Like, we saw you. And I'm like, they were telling me to do that. If anything, they were telling me to push it harder with weights through my leg, like 50 kilos. Like, put that on your knee and stretch that Achilles out, stretch those muscles,
Yeah.
like, build those muscles around that joint to get them stronger. We need you as strong as possible for the next operation, which is the ankle distraction. And it's like my physio said, like, day one when he took me on, like, we do that whole thing where you put your knee to the wall, and when I got there, it was, like, -1. Time I left, it was +5, where literally a few weeks ago, before I got signed off again that I can't work, it was, like, -5. Like,
Yeah.
the movement and everything's gone completely, and now, obviously, we found out from the latest MRI scan that they think, well, what they can see, well, there's no cartilage in it anyway, that's evaporated as time goes on, um, and obviously it's full of traumatic, post-traumatic
Like stress. Is that?
osteosporosis arthritis,
Oh,
so
okay.
that clogs it all up, but the screw has moved in between the joints, so you've got your tibia and fibula here coming down, and you've got your ankle joint, there's a screw there, so every time that moves, that screw's like,
It's like wearing,
and you
isn't
can
it?
hear it, you can hear it creaking, and that's caused loads of cysts in the bone, which has also evaporated the bone, so the bone's now got little holes in it, and the cysts, like, from, like, a P to literally, like, a 50p peace
Yeah.
sign in there. So I'm like, "What are we gonna do?" And, I spoke to a guy at the gym, and he was like, "Oh, like, I'm getting stem cell surgery on the NHS. Ask him, ask him." So I was like, "I will." So he gives me his details, and that I've gone to my surgeon. He's like, "We'll still try ankle distraction." I was like, "Brilliant. Let's not give up." And I was like, "What about the stem cells I've heard now are coming on the NHS?" He's like, "Oh, yeah." And they've got a relationship with the doctor already. It's down in Austria, somewhere in Wales on the outskirts. And he's like, "We'll speak to him." So that's the next steps now, really, is just trying to find out. Normally they do it if you've got one cyst, but I've obviously got quite a lot.
Yeah.
So on the 5th of November, we shall find out the results if we can have the operation, the ankle distraction. But again, it's going to be a long recovery. I mean, like, what is it now? Like 16 months or so. This
Yeah.
operation will be around the time of your wedding, maybe in like the January time. And then obviously you got your recovery from that. And
Yeah.
that's that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, you answered my next question because that's what I was sort of going to move into, sort of the next steps and kind of what life looks like now, really. So obviously, you're at this stage now. We're looking at stem cell. You've kind of got a bit of a plan. You're off work, rightly so, obviously recovering, and you've just had what appears to be a really, really unlucky 16 months with not only your foot, your leg, the cysts, this abscess on your stomach, and it feels very much sort of two steps forward, one step back in terms of
Mm,
your recovery and what's happening. And I think it's fantastic that throughout all of this, you've continued to try and live a life that you love, obviously. It's been adapted, but I can vouch for you that you're still going out. You attended Rob's 40th birthday, which we love seeing you at. You are trying to get out and about with your friends. You're still doing as much gymming as you can. And obviously, you're taking on now a whole new creative skill set with this kind of stuff, which is fantastic. And the next step now, stem cell and a long road to recovery still. And
mm.
how do you feel about being in this position now? Do you sometimes feel, why me? Do you sometimes get yourself into a negative space? How do you get yourself out of that? What does your sort of day to day look like emotionally and physically?
I'm all right, to be fair. I think if anyone's more affected, it's my mum.
Mm.
Maybe possibly my dad, who probably doesn't show it, but she's like, "We should have got your legs insured. Why didn't you listen to me that day?" She always like wants to kind of go back, where I'm just like, I can't change anything now.
Yeah.
Like, I can't change, like, and as bad as it seems, I always feel like everything happens for a reason. And when it happened, I think, what is this reason? Why have I got to lose a leg? And I think a lot of it for me is just, I have to have something like that to stop me. And also, I was kind of rebuilding, and I was still in that mindset of getting back to those races, getting back to that fitness, da da da. And now I've kind of learned a lot about myself even more this year, like 2025, is it's not all about that. I think I've always had a personality that's been quite an addictive personality to things that I've done. If it's been going out partying, being a holiday rep, like hitting your sales targets, like like you've always got
Yeah.
something to go at, and that's always defined me as a person almost. And then it was like, Lucy's into fitness. Then that was my title.
Yeah.
And again, the kind of meaning of the podcast, I'm actually becoming me. I'm trying to give that balance of every single part of me and making sure what's important. I'm not defined as anything apart from Lucy.
Yeah.
Not Lucy this, not Lucy that. Like, it doesn't matter what friendship group I'm with, I'm Lucy.
Yeah.
Do you know, maybe the odd animal comment will come out from that, and my friends who know me from school will call me Goosey. Do you know what I mean? Because that was my
Yeah.
nickname then. But, like, also, like, not to define myself, but to live. Like, all because you've got kind of some disability or whatever, or hold back. So again, listen to your gut, obviously. Like, don't overdo it and hurt yourself, but don't let anything stop you. Like, I've got another, hopefully, of the average lifespan, another 40 years to go.
Yeah.
Like, I've not hit 40 yet. So I've got a whole other life where I've got no growing up to do, no,
Yeah.
like, you know, like learning how to brush your teeth and go on a potty or do all that kind of stuff when you're a kid and all that teenager malarkey. Like, I'm
Yeah.
at a good place in my life where I can live it. So this is where it's all becoming, and hopefully, like, people can resonate and take something from that.
Yeah, and I think that's just such a perfect way and to sort of end this really, because
Mm,
I think you've summed it up perfectly. You've actually realised that you can be everything, not just one thing. You can
mm,
dip into all the different things that you enjoy, that you like, all the different personalities that you've got, and you can be just you at any given time of the day without having to focus on certain things. And that is the reason why this happened. And you sort of finding that this year is just sort of a perfect representation of, like you said, what this is all about.
mm,
And the inspiration that you are to people that know you, to hopefully people that might listen to this that don't know you. It is just that pure positive attitude, the hope from something that was such a tough and traumatic situation and coming out the other side, the resilience, the growing, the learning to be someone that you actually truly are, that you didn't even realize all those years ago,
mm.
and doing it with fun and with sass and personality and a brilliant laugh. And I think it's amazing. And I'm really proud of you for like getting through this, and you've still got such a journey, but hearing everything sort of told the way you've said it is just made me even more proud of you as a friend. So
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, it's amazing. It's a really, really amazing. And I'm just, I'm so grateful that you're at a positive space and you're feeling that you've got the rest of your life ahead of you, because you have. Yeah, there's some, yeah, big things coming for you, I'm sure.
Mm. Yeah.
And I think the last thing we need to end with is, you've kind of briefly touched upon it, but we found out who you were when the accident happened, but who are you becoming now?
I'm just, yeah, becoming myself, like I say, not putting myself in a box, not defining myself, and making sure I'm doing what I enjoy and not listening to other people and others' expectations, I think, as well. Just doing life as I want to do it, and yeah, enjoying it as the road goes on.
Amazing. Well, honestly, it's been fantastic hearing about this. And thank you so much for sharing. We had a laugh. There were some
Yeah.
vulnerable moments for sure. And yeah, thank you so much for being the first guest on Becoming
I
Lucy.
know, our first episode is done.
My God, amazing. Fantastic.
Yeah. So I think that's the end of our first episode, and
Yeah.
all I've got to say is, obviously, if you've made it all this way, thanks for listening. I hope we've entertained you, and yeah, we'll be back soon, hopefully enough, for some very interesting guests. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.